Hello, this is Pastor Jirin. Today, we want to talk about the criteria that was used in recognizing canonical books. Before now, I explain what you mean by the canon, the word canon. Okay, canon is just like a ruler, a measurement that was used to separate eh, the good books, okay, scriptural book from unscriptural books, okay, and that decision was made by the church fathers, okay, and also explain that uh, between the New Testament and New Testament was a period of 400 years that is known as the Dark Age or Silent Age, and that period was the period where God was not talking to the prophet, and some people just took advantage of that to begin to infuse some unscriptural books that were known as the hidden books. Okay, so you now find that just to pollute the mind. Okay, so those books were heretical in nature. Okay, and I've explained many of all these things. So today we want to look at the criteria that were used to remove them. eh? And one of such this thing is that one of such this thing has to do with the books were not Christ centered. Okay, they were not Christ centered in nature. Okay, all the books in the Bible, okay, were talks about the birth, okay, the ministry, the death and resurrection, and the rapture. Okay, any other book that talks contrary to all this is not regarded as being authentic. Okay, and the Bible itself is self authenticating. If you read the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16, and also the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 2, and the book of Matthew chapter 5 by 18, and also Revelation chapter 24 by 18 to 19, talks about the Bible being self-authenticating, okay, having what you call divine apostleship. Okay, then another reason why those books were removed had to do with what you call general inacceptability. They were not acceptable by uh, early believers and apostles of Christ. Okay, and there was no mention of those books by the early apostles, and Jesus Christ did not even make mention of all of those ones. Okay, and on the basis of that, those books were removed. And then the other thing is that they have what you call doctrinal errors. Okay, there are a lot of contradiction in age and other things. Okay, so there were doctrinal errors. Okay, that were not in conformity with the Christian faith, and because of that one they were removed. Okay, and then the other thing is that the book is those books themselves were not teaching morality, okay, righteousness and holiness. Okay, they were just finding the embers of loss, of human loss, and that was one of the reasons why those books were removed. Another reason is that this the other thing was immoral teachings. Okay, and they didn't have what you call spiritual value. Okay, if you read the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16, it talks about the ingredient eh, eh, of the scripture. Okay, one thing that the scripture teaches about, it can be used for to reprove, okay, to correct in righteousness, and to edify, and all those things. So any book that does not fit to what has been outlined in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 that and 16, that do not fit to all these conditions, will be removed, had to be removed, and that's why they were removed. Okay, another thing is that they didn't have what you call dynamic quality. The books were not dynamic in nature. And if you read the book of Hebrew chapter 4 verse 12, talks about the scripture. Okay, that the scripture is like a two-edged sword. Okay, to break, okay, and to do other things. So any book that is not dynamic in nature, it definitely will not be regarded as being scriptural. Another thing is that it didn't have what you call divine authority. Okay, all the books in the Bible, no, carry a lot of moral authority. Thou says the Lord, thou said the Lord. So it's not a question of, it was not ambiguous, it was very straight to the point. So any book that does not talk speak quote that not quote uh, in line with the authority of Jesus Christ definitely cannot be regarded as a scriptural book. And these are some of the reasons why many of those books were removed. And in its subsequent series, I will list all those books that were removed. But by and large, you can always many of those things I'm teaching, they are contained in all my books that are online. I have close to 200 books that are online on various themes, so you can always avail yourself the opportunity of getting to know more on some of those teachings, because you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. God bless you. Thank you. If you are blessed, kindly share.